Don't mind how I look. I know I look raggedy. It's the end of the day. So I'm a non-binary preschool teacher, and my kids know I'm non-binary. They know I'm not a girl or a boy. I use they, them pronouns in the classroom. We work on it. Not all the kids get it. That's okay. And I go by Mix Gray in the classroom, not Miss or Mr. Mix. And today one of the kids goes, hey, we've got 2 boy teachers in the classroom because the other teacher in the classroom at the time was a guy. And I go, no, there's not. I'm not a girl or a boy, remember? And she goes, oh my God, wait, does that mean you're dead? So I think that's my new gender now. I think I'm gonna change all my gender settings to dead.
What the hell did you just say?
So I'm a non-binary preschool teacher, and my kids know I'm non-binary. They know I'm not a girl or a boy.
Wow, the land of make-believe.
When the preschool teacher, who is an adult, actually believes in more outlandish nonsense than the preschoolers themselves, who probably still believe in Santa Claus, the Tooth Fairy, and the Easter Bunny, maybe, just maybe, it's time to find your kid a new preschool to go to. Just saying. Anyway, welcome back. Thank you guys so much for joining me. So I have a quick and crazy weekend Clown World update for you guys today. And listen, guys, I've had a crazy busy past couple of days, so I haven't had a lot of time to put this video together. So today we're just going to kind of throw shit against the wall and see what sticks. So I hope you guys enjoy the video. Let's all try to have a good laugh. And with that being said, let's get into it. Now, if you place your attention on the screen for a moment. Now, I don't know who the hell this is. I don't know what the hell this is. But I saw this picture on the interwebs and I just had to share it with you guys. The caption says, I woke up like this. Now say good morning. What?
The hell are you supposed to be?
All right, let's keep it moving with today's segment of celebrities who suffer from TDS, also known as Trump derangement syndrome. So here we have famous Hollywood actress Jane Fonda, who says that voting for the evil orange man is an existential threat. Then she gives us an inspirational quote from the late, great. Oh, hang on one second. This person isn't late or great. So she gives us a quote from Greta Van Dunsberg. Excuse me, Greta Thunberg. Now pay attention to her eyes. It's always the eyes. Roll it.
My name is Catherine. I just want to ask, you're such a big activist, you have in your entire life, and with the current political climate being just a bit disheartening, I was wondering if you had any advice for specifically my generation, like Gen Z, for how to stay involved in politics even in this kind of climate.
Well, you got to stay involved in politics. This election in November is an existential election. How we vote in this country is going to have a lot to do with whether there's a future for your generation. And, you know, I know from my grandchildren that they're very angry, and I understand it. I am too. But there's a clear choice.
Yes.
One will give us a context in which we can fight for what we believe in. The orange man, there is no.
Yes. You're so right, yeah.
There's no fight. He's made very clear we should believe him. Fascism and drill, baby, drill.
Yeah.
And it'll kill us.
Yeah.
Pure and simple. So, you know, you know who Greta Thunberg is? The Swedish activist, yeah. She says, you know, everybody goes looking for hope. Don't look for hope, look for action, and hope will come.
Wow.
So that's what I advise is action. Become an activist. Join an organization. Fight.
Okay.
All right.
Blah, 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 blah.
Wow. Did you guys see her eyes? I was actually starting to get a little freaked out by them.
She's got the crazy eyes.
Dude, the eyes, they're crazy.
All right, let's stick with this whole TDS Trump train theme for a minute. Now, I don't know where this fella gets his news, but even places like CNN and MSNBC are starting to cede ground and realize that this whole trial in New York City is a bunch of smoke and mirrors. So, sir, please try to keep up. Roll it.
Donald Trump is not a smart man. He's not playing three-dimensional chess. He's not even playing checkers. He's thumb wrestling. And he's got tiny hands. He's losing. I'm reminded of white men can't jump when it comes to this trial. Sometimes when you win, you really lose. Sometimes when you lose, you really win. Sometimes when you win or lose, you really tie. Donald Trump doesn't know any of that. Forget the legal ramifications of this trial. Let's just think about the political ramifications. If his defense is to be believed, what he's telling the American people is that he's susceptible to blackmail and he doesn't know what's happening in his own business, so much so that one individual in his business can cost him close to $500,000 behind his back, but right under his nose. That makes him look weak and not smart. And the fact that he took this to trial and is using that as his defense, and nobody could tell him that that's what was going to come out, or he couldn't believe anybody who was telling him that. He didn't have lawyers or aides who were saying, like, listen, this trial is going to hurt your political campaign. Tells me he's not smart enough to be president. And I know that this is not going to affect the MAGA base. The MAGA base is going to support him no matter what. Convicted, acquitted, doesn't matter. They're not going to be moved. But middle of the road, independents, undecided voters are seeing how weak Donald Trump is.
He is so full of shit, this guy. Terrible.
All right, let's step away from politics for a minute and jump on over to things that are racist. First up, if you are a white person and a practicing vegetarian or vegan, you are probably a racist. Roll it.
Everyone says I need to be a little more clear that not all vegetarians are racists. And so I'm going to be very, very clear. If you are a white person and you are practicing vegetarianism or veganism and you have not studied this, this is the first time you've heard of this, or you've heard of this before, but you haven't gone and educated yourself, then you have built racism and white supremacy into your everyday life, whether you know it or not. This is one of those things where your intentions don't matter at all. It's about your impact. If you want a place to get started, Fearing the Black Body by Dr. Sabrina Strings is excellent. Excellent. This book has done more for helping me get rid of my body image issues than anything else, because at least for me, once I find something is tied to white supremacy, I try really, really, really hard to get it out of my mind and consciousness.
That is without a doubt the dumbest thing I've ever heard. You are a f***ing idiot.
All right, next up in things that are racist. Grammar policing, or correcting someone's grammar, is racist, according to this young lady. Well, according to this young lady, pretty much the whole English language is racist. Roll it.
Why grammar policing is racist, part 2. So we talked about AAVE in my last video, so let's talk about how it came to be. In this country and well across any other European colonized nation that had black slavery, teaching slaves how to read and write was illegal, thus creating a generation, and many generations actually, that were functionally illiterate. Fast forward to Jim Crow era South, and black schools were severely underfunded. And their teachers did not really have any criteria to be teaching. They were just doing the best, creating a whole other host of generations that were also illiterate. Fast forward to today, and some of the lowest literacy rates in this country are in black and brown communities. These school systems are racist. How we dictate what is proper English is racist. Yelling at a black and brown person for not speaking English in the way that you want them to be speaking English, even though you've created an entire system to make sure that they did not know how to speak English, that's just racism to me.
Are you f***ing dumb?
Hey, real quick. Whoa. Before we go any further, I want to give a huge shout out to the sponsors of today's video. And while I'm doing that, I'm going to let this loop on the screen now. My question is, if these two fellas go through a metal detector at a security checkpoint, say at the airport or something, Do they have to take out all their body piercings? How does that work? Anyway, today's video is being brought to us by our first sponsor is our great friend Kathy B from the LBC. Kathy B from Long Beach, California. Kathy, thank you so much for sponsoring today's video. I really appreciate the continued love and support. Second sponsor of today's video wanted to remain anonymous. You know who you are. Thank you so much for sponsoring today's video. I really appreciate it. So today's video sponsors are Kathy B from Long Beach and Anonymous. Now, if you'd like to sponsor the next video and help support the channel, there is a PayPal link in the description box below, and I will say your full name as a sponsor of said video unless stated otherwise by you. All right, I think we've seen enough of this madness. Get this off the screen, please. Oof.
What in the hell was that all about?
All right, next up we have this lovely young lady who breaks out into a chant where she says, "I'm waiting for the men to leave Earth." Now, my question is, does that include trans men and gay men, or would that be straight white men only? Roll it.
I'm waiting for the men to leave Earth. Somehow, right now. I'm waiting for the men to leave Earth. Somehow, right now. I'm waiting for the men to leave Earth. Somehow, right now.
Hey, lady! Shut up!
All right, next up we're going to hear from everybody's favorite U.S. Congresswoman, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. Now, I still can't believe this woman is a United States government official. How the f*** did we get here? Question says, why are you not addressing the border crisis and the kids in cages like you used to? Roll it.
Are you for real? So let's talk about this because so much of our national conversation, which is not a conversation about immigration, is driven by people who could not care less about immigrants. Often people want to say, why aren't you talking about the border crisis? Or why aren't you talking about it in this way? Well, we're talking about it. They just don't like how we're talking about it because it's not a border crisis. It's an imperialism crisis. It's a climate crisis. It's a trade crisis. And also, it's a carceral crisis. They want to say, what about the surge? Well, first of all, just gut check, stop. Anyone who's using the term surge around you consciously is trying to invoke a militaristic frame. And that's a problem because this is not a surge. These are children and they are not insurgents and we are not being invaded, which, by the way, is a white supremacist idea, philosophy.
What did you say? What the f*** did you just say?
And we are not being invaded.
Wrong again, idiot.
All right, guys, we're going to be wrapping it up with this clip from this young fella, Nick Shirley, who does these fantastic man on the street interviews. And here he went to Harvard College, some of our best and brightest, right? To ask the students if they will be voting for Trump or Biden in the upcoming election. Wait, things are clearly getting very crazy out there, guys. So please take care of yourselves. Take care of each other. Till next time. Love you guys. Peace. Roll it.
Who will you be voting for?
We'll have to wait and see. It's a little down the line.
Okay.
Just kidding. I'm voting for Biden. If it's a Biden-Trump matchup, then I'd be voting for Biden, yeah.
What would make you want to vote for Joe Biden versus a person like Donald Trump?
I can't even begin to list the reasons. It's that extensive.
Can I get 3 of them?
Sure. He aligns with my values more. He's more pro-democracy, and I think he's a better person.
Okay. And with policies, anything like that?
He aligns with my policies generally across the board.
What are your policies?
All right, this is where we're hitting past the minute point. I gotta run.
We got like
sorry.
10 more seconds.
All right, I'm sorry, but I'm cutting this short.
Who do you think would be best to become the future leader of America in this year and with elections?
In terms of this election, I will be personally voting for Joe Biden.
Okay, and why so?
I think in terms of just keeping the rule of law and the state of our constitutional democracy, he's the best option.
Who are you going to be voting for?
Biden.
And why so?
Voted for him last year. I don't agree with like some of Trump's policies, so that's why.
And there seems to be no sign of intelligent life anywhere.
And you ain't black.